Yeah, greetings to the family. This is a moment of truth and natural wisdom. Yeah. Now we are back to the teachings on the elements. We are trying to make you guys understand all the elements on the periodic table. We go to school all the time. We've been going to school in Ghana, in Africa, whatever. But because for one or two reasons, like we don't have this specific type of teachings in our own language, it becomes very difficult. We go to school, we do all the calculations. Yeah, maths and the science I can see. But at the end of the day, we don't even know we have all these elements around us. What do I say? Now, we are doing argon element or argon gas. No, we have all the nobles. We have the noble gases because a noble is an independent element. They don't depend on some, or they don't. It's to be noble in the society means you have your wealth, you have whatever you have, and you don't depend on others. You are independent. Like we have our country, Ghana is an independent country. We have America is an independent country. So you don't depend on any other country to necessarily live a meaningful life or to make an impact. That is why we have some section on the periodic table called noble gases. Noble gases means independent gases. They can do whatever they have to do on their own. What you say? So they don't depend on any other elements to create some reactions here and there to make impact, to form compounds or eventually create solutions to our problems. Is what I'm trying to say. All the elements are there creating solutions to our problem. That's why at the other time I was telling you about solutions and compounds, solute, whatever. Solutions, we need solutions to problems every day. All the elements are there. That is why we have all the elements in the elementary system around us. You started your school from the elementary school. Is what I'm trying to say. And the elements of nature. Now, let us move on. Now, the argon gas is the 18th element on the periodic table. That is the argon gas, argon element with the symbol of Ar. Now, a characteristics of argon is gonna say it's colorless, it's odorless, it's touchless or whatever. No element is colorless. No element chemistry no chemistry teacher na catch there was say some of the gases are colorless, and then mema code bako in science, mema secret bako in science. Your teacher in science told you that some of the gases are colorless, they are odorless, they are touchless. It's a gas you cannot touch, and you cannot smell it, and you cannot see it. So how do you know they exist? That is not true in your science class. Whatever teacher is giving you that information, they just read what is there. They don't know what they are talking about. No gases, no, they are, because you cannot necessarily touch them, you feel them. Semi-feely argon gas here. I know we can maybe propane gas, we can maybe swatch, but Hanoya and Pesse may be so any other day. What you said. Now, the gases are odorless. What the gas and a scent? Uofino, or gas, I wouldn't know Diane, Eufino, Ubi gas and not elikia. What is it? Oh, I smell some gas. Not just if your house is getting ready to be burned. So you need to get the fire service involved as practically as quick as possible. Because what smell gas? So you go to school and your science teacher is telling you the gases are odorless and colorless because these argon gases and stuff is what you use to make your cooking gas at home. And if your science teacher tells you the gas is colorless, it's odorless, it's not true. All the gases, we are able to differentiate them based on the odor and the color. We see the gases. We see the gases after fractional distillation, which of course we're going to do that experiment. Now, so you have 5 senses. the gas, you cannot touch them physically. What you say? And if you are not able to see them and you are not able to, you can hear you be a gas, so who say the pressure be pressure be, you hear it. All your five senses understand the air, and the air has the components of all the gases. But of course, nitrogen is the most abundant air system environment, nitrogen. But now let us move on. So argon is not colorless, it's not odorless, it's not touchless, it's not, you feel it, you cannot necessarily touch it as you are touching something like your wallet or whatever, or money, but you can smell. What you say? So with the gases in here, you know what I'm talking about. You smell it. I me call welding a room na me weld there. I know how I smell the argon gases over there. What is what I'm trying to say? But immediately you beginning to weld, this is how it looks like. The argon gas is white to purple, or is ultraviolet. The argon gas is white to purple. It's between white and purple, and it's more like ultraviolet. So there. Now the sources of argon gas is, of course, you get it from the natural air. You get it from the natural air. And you have a process called, you're using the boiling point in a frictional distillation to separate all the air components. And into your farm framana wa bontrena your home and one. Ya dem framano be ye heating framanoa. In that process, we separate all the other gases. We separate all the other gases being components of the air. We talk about the components of the air, the nitrogen, the oxygen and stuff. We talk about all of that. But you use frictional distillation to, I told you how you use the process of distillation to convert the palm wine into appetition. Now, you use frictional distillation to separate all the air components through the boiling point method. The frictional distillation, first of all, you will separate the oxygen and nitrogen. But before you get the oxygen and nitrogen, carbon dioxide will exit, a bed drop it out of the system. Immediately the carbon dioxide drop out of the system, you will leave behind oxygen and nitrogen for further processing in the separation of these two gases. Now, to hospital oxygen tank na you use this process to get oxygen. You use this process to get nitrogen. Now, and in that process, you get a byproduct. It's idle. It's necessarily not taking part in anything because it is non-reactive gas in the system. That is argon gas as the byproduct of the frictional distillation in the process of separating all the components in the air. Properties, it is non-reactive and it will be unreactive. It's non-reactive. That is what is a noble gas. It's an independent gas, and all the noble gases of helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon forms our lights because they are noble, so they are independently giving us the light. What do you use the argon gas for? It's a white ultraviolet light bulbs in your house. Light bulbs, if you want a DB go as a chalk. Once a DB as a painted bulb, bulb, of course, the bulb itself on a glass. Bulb on a glass. What yes, by a DB will muslim food through white. A DB will muslim food through as a violet bibisano. It's the argon gas in the white bulb. And I told you the neon is your red bulb, red light bulbs. And the helium is more like a yellowish version of the and then the industrial uses of the argon gas, because it's very hot, you use it for the MIG welding. It's a metal inert gas welding as a shielding component that is gonna, it's fluxless. We're gonna explain more about flux. It's fluxless, so it's shielding the welding and protecting it from the atmosphere. In the long run, it's preventing the welded joint, making it corrosion resistant. That is what your argon gas does industrially in the welding industry. For us, anything that you see is what the metal inert gas is when uko magazine wa bunse omukuta da dibisa na omode nane ede welde alumi weld and that kind of things, but MIG welding is more like for steel that they are adding pana ya cars and ya you use on the car ne baby na huni nyina aluminium car ne huni nyina aluminium, but baby ya unhia very tough we see to say we will talk about all of that, but baby ya unhia steel near the other baby to say we create firewall and that kind of things, and some engine components be here steel near the other. That is when you do the MIG welding to join two metal pieces together, and you need argon gas for the metal inert gas welding. Of course, we have the thick welding and we have the stick welding. We talk about all of that, but the MIG welding is it's the most popular. Is what I'm trying to say. So I love you all. This is argon gas. It's very short and simple. I love you all. This is the moment of truth and natural wisdom. So argon gas, your gas bia ewo emframa ye homenemu, but enkrofo bi et separate na omadia intina emframa ni nyina omo separate na dia go tank him, because ubi so abekọ it's to get back to where it came from. Naturally, everybody is trying to get back to where they came from. So you are coming down because here is your home. What you say? Everybody want to get back to where they belong. Gas be ubi so it be make sense from an but you smell it going. At the pressure you see it. What you say? To know gas is odorless. O smell feel gas ne ba be share o smell gas no. Jale mum yenya word no nkata gas no I see fire service. Till you go to school na science teacher be catch say your gas is odorless, is colorless. What kind free book my enkwase say but to go. Why? I love you all. May this akwanya we so to teach akwadwufo or platform on fan chere Ghana for boys na de. Why? Comedy ni de wunya ma kwa kuma enunum ne ras na nenum ne akrobetonum no eye more fun to watch. Wunya comedy the matter for. Ubi ya ono wan kusukuru na dwuma ye comedy or a talented comedian to make people laugh and release some stress. Wa ukusukuru so ukusunya ade akwaji allowance ne ade usuku mu so san de unim dia ukusunya ne school mu no betan into comedy dia actually. Ochira de wo hen, ochira de wo. Yeah, masa. Mumi nya comedy ne makwa kuma enunum ne lewenum ne akrobotonum ne omo manku school. Omon enim di bia sa usuku mu nti ma amuku usuku nim dia akonya na ban bo ho ka allowance ne ade amoje na momfa bi nkyere nkrofo because you get the platform. Masa ye nhwe ma mu ntimi Ghana sa o. Yeah. Okay. I love you all.